Welcome to part 3 of the video workshop, 21st Century Literacies, Multimodality, and Multi-Genre Composition. This part of the workshop requires you to show evidence of participation through the blog entry this week. This is where you are going to begin practicing and playing with ideas of multimodality in order to prepare you for what you might create for your final inquiry project write-up. So now we're going to try a few and post one or two, maybe the one you like the best as your blog work for this workshop. Here are some options. Create a short, quick, so not a lot of information, but an infographic representing some part of your inquiry project. It might be something to represent your research questions, maybe some great quotes or your thoughts on them from a source so far, just one source, a bit of data if you have talked to someone or collected any kind of observation data so far. And I encourage you to do this through two potential sites, although there are certainly more that you could use. One is smore.com. Smore is an infographic building website, and essentially it creates what they call flyers. Pictochart also allows you to create infographics. It just has a little bit different of a format and template to use. Both of these allow you to make choices in your design and play around with some of that and think through the choices that you're making in a critical way. So you might try one of those. You could create a print or digital collage of images or words that represent some part of your inquiry project so far. You could use your daybook to cut and paste, or you could use a word cloud maker called Wordle. If you've seen t-shirts or posters or things around that have these bundle of words together, they may have been created using a space like Wordle. You could craft an acrostic poem or a brief autobiographical statement about a key stakeholder or participant in your research. So think about what would be an autobiographical statement from the creator of a standardized test, or new employees in the area you are studying, or a student. You could create a few print or digital journal entries from that same stakeholder, again starting to get the multiple idea in mind. You could find a song that connects to your project in some way, or create a quick sound file that represents ideas in your project. So for instance, finding a song maybe might be Pink Floyd's We Don't Need No Education, or I could record sounds of a typical day in my classroom. SoundCloud is a nice online digital recording space that allows you to record and share via links the audio files. Now, as you're working through all of these, you're going to have to play and give yourself some time to play in terms of editing, figuring out how to share properly, testing that sharing and whatnot before you submit it as a blog post. Or you might have to test it as a blog post and then go back and check and make sure that it shows up the way that you intended. You can take pictures from your daybook, you can take screenshots, you can do lots of different things. And please remember, this is a low stakes playtime. So you're not being assessed on your ability yet to create an appropriate multimodal representation of some part of your inquiry write-up. You're simply trying out. So this is kind of an all or nothing. You do something and you'll get credit for it. Some things to think about. When first playing with these ideas of multimodal and multi-genre composing, it's very easy to do a few things. One is play the matching game. So you might think, all right, if I were writing a research paper and had paragraphs and citations, what would that look like? And then what's the match for that in multimodal, multi-genre? So sometimes I see students who want to represent the idea of love, and so they put a heart, right? The idea of peace, you put a peace sign or a dove, okay? I play volleyball, so put a volleyball. And I'm giving examples from former students' work. Or if you're trying to represent the student-teacher relationship, you put the idea of a classroom. Another thing that people often do is just focus on the digital only. You might think, Multimodal, multi-genre is limited to tools that are on a computer or online, and that may or may not be true. So you might only consider a video or creating a Prezi for delivering this message, and what I want you to think about is what could be some pitfalls of these above approaches to multimodal, multi-genre writing. If you're constantly doing just a match, here's what it would look like in traditional form, so let me match it, find the match in multimodality or multi-genre composing. Or if I think it's got to be digital only, what's the pitfall of that potentially? So thinking through those things are going to help you not only for doing this low stakes blog work, but also thinking about what you might do in the end for your ultimate multimodal write-up. And we'll talk more about that. I hope you have fun and I look forward to seeing what you create.